Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to talk about Skillz stock, and today I'm going to go into my ultra bull case of why I'm buying Skillz stock, and especially with the dip that it's been on and now it's down 65%, why I'm the most bullish I have ever been on Skillz, and why with this dip I'm not worried, because in the long term I'm going to show you today where I see the company going in the next kind of 4 years and why I'm buying this company overall. Now, sorry about this video taking so long to do. Basically, there's been a few news articles that have come up this week and they've took priority, and with it being a Sunday, I could finally sit down, put this video together, get all the information together, because it does take a while to put this video together to make it, and yeah, give you the complete bull case on this company. It will be a video that's a bit more, not more of the fun ones where it's kind of like, here's 10 stocks in 10 minutes to look at. This is kind of in-depth stuff. These sort of videos never do that well on YouTube now. It's definitely more on YouTube like the hot stocks and the more kind of, quick fire into companies. So yeah, I know this one won't do that well on the YouTube view side of it, but I know some of you guys may be a little bit worried, like, why is this stock going down so much? But if anything, with this dip, it's probably an opportunity to buy even more shares that I never thought we would have to buy this company overall. And yeah, I'll go through everything with Skillz stock today. So if you could smash the like button, always helps the video out. If you are new, subscribe, that'd be absolutely amazing as well. But we'll get on to Skillz stock. Now, just before I do go to that, a little funny story. This is my third attempt recording this video. The first time I recorded this video, for some reason the exposure went absolutely crazy and it went glowing white on the video, so I had to not use that video because it was just absolutely useless. And the second time my actual camera died, so this is my third time recording this video, and both of those times it was like a half an hour long video that was just wasted. So yeah, hopefully this time this is the one you're seeing. So Skillz stock, I actually started buying this company back about 6 months ago. It came through as SPAC stocks. SPAC stocks were definitely the popular thing in 2020, and they're not a bad thing to go through. Sometimes you can get some decent companies in through SPAC stocks. The reason through going SPAC stocks, it's a lot easier to come onto the stock market. You also get a nice cash injection. So that's how Skillz came onto the stock market, through a SPAC. I bought it as a SPAC. My first entry was like $13 or $14. Averaging all the way up to $17, and at the moment my average is still $17, and I'm very happy with that average. I think at these sort of prices it's a very good price. Now obviously the stock went up crazy from there, at the points where it was going up to $40, which in my opinion it was definitely overvalued at that point when it was going up to them sort of prices. But I have noticed now a little bit of like, oh, I don't know if I like this company because it's going down. When realistically, if you understand the company and you have the bull case on the company, and hopefully, like today is me sharing my bull case, but hopefully you did your own research as a company and you can appreciate like this company being back at these valuations is extremely cheap in the long term. And I'm going to share the research I got from when I looked into that company today when I did my research. Now, like I said, it went up to like $40. I think it kind of got caught in the kind of hyper growth stock kind of spike where the share prices just went nuts. From like February, went up like another 100% from there, went all the way up to $40. And then there was two combinations. We had the kind of reversal with a lot of these hyper growth stocks and it lost a lot of value. And also there was a short report. Now the short report had just loads of lies in, and in today's video I will actually like some of the claims in there. This video will kind of rip that short report to absolute pieces. Now we know the short report was by the Wolfpack, and we know them guys put a lot of lies in the EHang short report, and there was definitely a lot of lies in the Skillz short report as well. And like I say, I'll try cover a few of them today. So yeah, I mean, when they got to all-time highs, they got hit by a short report that had a lot of lies in, and also the kind of like hyper growth valuations came down. Now, if it wasn't for one of those things, or even both of those things, I definitely think right now Skillz, in my opinion, is undervalued, and it should be a $20 plus company right now. And if it wasn't for them things, I'm sure it would have been a $20 plus company. So at the moment, Skillz for so long is like people were getting a bit FOMO'd because it just went up and up and up and up, and then we had a sharp reversal. And I think people kind of like were like willing to get in when it was going up and up and up, but now it's come down. People are like, oh, I don't know if I like Skillz, and realistically, if you actually go through the company now, these are the sort of valuations. I never thought we would see Skillz. I'm recording this video and I think it's actually $15 right now. I never thought I would see Skillz at $19, never mind $15. And I think actually after Friday, after hours actually moved it into the $14 range. I never thought I would see Skillz at $14 again. That's why I was averaging up. And I thought the lowest it would get to is maybe $19, but to get it back at these sort of prices is just absolutely crazy. And like I said, today hopefully I'll kind of go through my bull case on where I really like this company and where I see it going. So that's just like a little bit of history of like my investment into the company, my average, and also a little bit of history on the share price. And right now I think it's currently undervalued. I think it should be a $20 stock, but I think it's even more crazy. In a little bit I'm actually going to show you some of the numbers that I run on it and how much I think I'm going to make on this company as well. So first of all, let's just do I want to go really in depth. I want to spend a bit of time on everything on the company. Like I say, I want my ultra bull case on this company and why I like it. The platform. So I don't want to spend too long on this because I feel like if you're watching this video, you're probably someone that's invested in Skillz and you're like probably just looking for someone to kind of back up your bull thesis on like why you think it's going to go up. But maybe it's your first time looking into Skillz. So I'll just kind of just do a quick cover on the platform. Really quickly, they go by the branding esports for everyone. So basically what this platform does is it lets game developers come onto their platform and make their games playable through the esports platform that Skillz have. And that lets people, do tournaments, wager matches, and obviously esports is a growing category. The best way I've ever seen it summed up is someone actually said to me the other day, I always think of Skillz as Netflix, because Netflix is a company, well, they kind of make films and TV shows now, but they never used to make the actual own films and TV shows. What they used to do is get other TV shows and make a streaming service. And that's very much like what Skillz do. They're like the streaming service, but the esports version, and let game developers come on and get their marketing side of it, their esports side of it, and it works very well. And the platform has done fantastic. When you look at the games that they currently have, they've got very high reviews. If you look at the people that use the platform, the people that are using the platform are coming back year after year. And yeah, it's a very good platform. That you look at the revenue growth, I think it's since 2017, the company's always put in 100% revenue growth. So yeah, it's a very successful platform. It's not like a platform that is a bad platform. And yeah, overall, very good. Now, if we go down to the management side of it, today, like I say, I'm going to try and completely strip down, why I'm so bullish on this company. We're going back to basics. First of all, let's go with management. So the CEO and founder is Andrew Paradise. Now, Andrew Paradise set up this company in 2012. Before that, he had other companies. They've all been bought out. There's only one company that did okay, which was a company in the financial crisis in 2018. I'm sure we can let him off for that. How many other companies did amazing in 2008, sorry, not 2018. The financial crisis in 2008, I'm sure we can all say a lot of companies did bad that year. But all the other companies have been very successful. And the thing is, they've got, as how you should judge anyone, I guess, is as he's gone through his career as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, as a founder of a company, he's got better at setting up companies. And I think it's only fair we judge him off his last company prior to Skillz, which was, I think it was called Buyer. And basically he set that company up in 2010. He then sold it in 2012, so 2 years, and he sold it for 100 million. So for me, if I'm judging Andrew Paradise as a CEO and a founder, he's got better as his career goes on. And if we go for his last company he set up, I think setting a company up in 2 years and selling it for 100 million is excellent. How many people have done that? Have you done that? I mean, so many. I bet no one that's watching this video has been able to do something like that. I mean, I'll probably have one guy that pops up and goes, I've done it. But from 2010 to 2012 to sell a company for 100 million, and I think he sold it to Intuit. I think that's a great businessman. And then if we go on to his even latest company that he set up, which is obviously Skillz. Skillz is a company now that's his best company so far. It's a $1 billion company. Towards probably the next few years, it's probably going to be, it's bringing in millions of revenue. It's probably going to do billions of revenue in the next few years. So for me, when I look at Andrew Paradise as a management, I think he's fantastic. He's got a very good past, and this was one of the claims in the short report, that we've got a bad management team here. You look at his history, he's got better as he's gone on. His last company before Skillz, 2 years, 100 million, sold it to Intuit. I think that's absolutely amazing. And we look at Skillz, and he's just getting better, because Skillz is now a $1 billion company. So that's one thing I just can't take on the short report. We have a very good management team here, and he's got a history of being a very successful founder, CEO of companies. So I think, first of all, we've got a strong base here. I think the management are fantastic. And that will lead us on to the next kind of thing. So when we're buying into Skillz, when I always buy companies, I always want to be buying in industries that are going to do very well over the next few years. Now, the industry that Skillz is in gaming. Gaming is a fast growing segment, so we know that's going to carry on growing over the next few years. Now, in the gaming segment, the mobile gaming is the fastest growing area in gaming. Now, the reason why it's the fastest growing area in gaming is because everyone has a mobile phone, whereas a console, you would have to go out to buy a console or a PC, for example. And as well as that, the console and PC side of it is probably to, I would say, more of a younger audience. Mobile phones, everyone has a mobile phone. And because of that as well, the age ranges that Skillz covers, or mobile gaming covers as well, is from 18 all the way up to 60, 70, 80. So they have a huge range here. And as well as that, it's not just, I would say more console gaming, PC gaming is more to male dominated. Whereas mobile gaming is a 50-50 split between males and females. So you've kind of got all age ranges, as well as covering, males and females. So you've got a great audience here. And that's why mobile gaming is growing so quick as well. So you're in a growing industry, and in that industry, you're in the fastest growing industry. Esports is getting very popular. You look at esports, that's going to grow absolutely huge, especially mobile esports. And the wager system, where it's a lot more skill based, that's going to get people, playing even more. So you got that side of it. And the thing is as well with this kind of company is that you've got like the wager matches, you've got wager tournaments, but the thing as well is that you forget about is that the potential to come down as a streaming platform in the next few years, where you're actually watching people play matches. If you get to a Twitch standard, or if you enter in tournaments and you watch people play tournaments, there's actually features where you can actually watch you play someone, and then after you play them, you can actually re-watch the game back and see how they beat you. And they could even expand that system as well. So in the background here, you're buying a mobile platform, which is going to be huge, an esports platform, which is huge, and you're also potentially picking up a streaming service in a few years down the line. And that's a little bit ahead of the game, but that's where I kind of wanted to give you my ultra bull case and everything that I see could happen with Skillz. But at the moment, you got mobile games, which is growing huge, and then if people do want to pay and go onto the esports side of it, you've got that covered here. Now, first of all, is this a bad company? Because when you look at the share price and you see a company has dropped 65%, I think the first thing you're thinking is like, what's gone on? Has something fundamentally changed with this company? Is this a bad company? I think that's the first thing you're thinking, because 65% drop is a lot. Now, in my opinion, this is not a bad company. I think this is an amazing company because you're picking up a massive growth company. You look at how the company's performed historically since 2012. Since 2017, this company has grown revenue at 100% rate every year. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think a bad company is a company that grows at 100% revenue rate. You'd think that they've fallen off a cliff or something, but they're not. They're doing absolutely fantastic. And the thing as well is one of the biggest things is that they criticise the management here. But one thing in the short report that said this company was a bad company is that the data at the moment is very weak for this company. Totally opposite. What Skillz have coming out and done, they didn't have to do this. This was just to say, look, that short report is a load of lies. Is their Q1, they brought out preliminary Q1 to show, we're doing absolutely amazing. They brought out Q1 and their revenue was, the short report said it was going to be below because the download data was absolutely weak. They didn't just come below, they didn't come in line, they beat it. They beat it by a huge amount. I think expectations was something like 77 million or something, and they're guiding for 80 million. And this is once again a short report claim that was in there. Is this a bad company? I think a company growing at 100% revenue rate is fantastic. I think that even the claim that they're struggling now is just a load of lies, because once again the preliminary Q1s were absolutely fantastic for this company. The only little thing that you will have with this company, and this is something that goes down to you as an investor, is it will be a company that won't be profitable for a while. The reason why is because it's going to invest in a lot to try and get users onto the platform. We've seen what the company has done previously is once it can attract users, they will stay on the platform for a very long time, for years, and they will just carry on spending more and more money, and after a few years they get their money back through these promotions of getting them onto the platform. You're going to have that with a platform like this because it has to put in promotions to attract users. Because the thing is as well with this company is that sure, you can class it as a mobile gaming company, but it doesn't make money from people coming on and playing the games. It makes money from when people go onto the esports side and wager against each other, and that's what it puts its money into. This company has no advertising on its platform. It could do if it wants to, and that's something it could go down the line in a few years' time if it wants to go more down the advertising on its platform side of it. But the moment it's focused on making money from people coming on and playing games and the wager system, and that's what it's putting most of its money on, is getting users to go onto the wager site and wager and esports against each other. And that's where it's looking to go, more than where you see sometimes mobile companies go down the advertising side of it. And the thing as well with this company is this a bad company? When I go into investments, I spend quite a few days when I actually going into invest into a company. And one of my processes when I look into a company is actually I want to try the product, because even if it's something I don't really use that often, I just want to see is it good? Is it a good system in place? And I've used this product for Skillz. I at the moment use the bubble shooter game, I think it is. And I love it, and I've actually even myself gone onto the wager side of it and played a few games as well with that company, with that game, sorry. And I think it's fantastic. And you look at some of the games at the moment, and the games have 4.5-star reviews and above. And I've used the brand. I think it's fantastic as well. So I don't think there's a lot of false claims that come out, and I don't think it's a bad company. I think what they've got going on at the moment is fantastic. And yeah, I think when you look at what's going on with this company, I'm a big fan of it. Now, this is like the past side of it. When we invest into a company, obviously we invest into a company because in the future the revenues goes up, that attracts more and more investors, and also what are the key things that are going to make this company go up in value in the next few months and years. So we're going to go on to the next bit, which is hidden gems. So sometimes in hidden gems, these are things that I've picked up from listening. When I invest into a company, I go through the investor relations. I also go through the conference calls, and sometimes in them conference calls, you get some hidden gems in them. And these are a few things that will help the company in the next few years. So the first thing, we're going to go for the first one, which is the big one, is the NFL deal. Now, there's two things that really made this company really go to overvalued prices, and now we're back at undervalued prices. But two of the catalysts that did send it up quite a bit is we had ARK Invest buy into this company, and obviously Kathy Woods has a cult following and people follow her into it, and they started buying. But another thing is they announced a deal with the NFL. Now these guys, the short report, were very criticised this deal because basically they said, look, there's no evidence of this deal going anywhere at the moment, and that's because the NFL deal only got announced 2 months ago. Now, if any of you guys have any experience with the gaming industry, you will know with the NFL announcing a deal with Skillz and going, we want to have an esports game. And if you actually go on the Skillz website, you can see this right now. They're asking for game developers and to develop these games. It takes longer than 2 months to kind of do a deal and then get a game out there. There's a process where they've got to kind of go, right, we've got the NFL deal, agree all the terms. We then have to go to the game developers, look, make a game, let's see what we've got. Then through there, they've got to go through the trial process, they have to go through the selection process, and then they can put the game out. And I think Andrew Paradise on the recent earnings call said that we probably won't see anything from the NFL side of it until the back end of the year. And this short report was we can't see any evidence of the Skillz deal going anywhere. There's no, it's not published anywhere. That's because it's such an early stage. Like Andrew Paradise says, we've got to start creating the games, trial them, make sure we pick the right one, and then it goes out. And that was just a load of lies. There's no way you can get a mobile game up from making a deal and then getting it out there in a month, 2 months. It's insane. But Anyway, that's enough of that because it was just a load of rubbish. Anyone could appreciate there's no way you're going to make a deal and then get the game out in 60 days time. It's a bit of a longer process than that. But the NFL deal was a game changer for Skillz, because what's going to happen now is we've seen a major brand that goes, you know what, we want an esports game, and we see the skill side of it and think this could be a major platform for us. Get the developers to make a game, put it on the platform. But what this kind of helps is the NFL kind of shows if they have a successful esports game, what's going to stop brands like the NBA coming in, the NHL coming in, or even anything else. These brands, if NFL is successful, it's a game changer, because imagine all the brands that will want an esports game and go to Skillz to make it because they see the success of the NFL deal. But the NFL deal is a game changer because you have a super brand coming in here. And also, if the NFL pushes it, the amount of new players that will come to the Skillz platform will be amazing. And this brand could be a game changer for Skillz. So I think this is a little early taste of what can happen if this deal kicks on. Now let's go on to the new game side of it. So the new game side of it at the moment, one thing that Skillz does is that at the moment they sandbag numbers huge amounts, because what they do is basically when they offer guidance, and this is why guidance is now, previously we've been growing at 100% revenue rate. But the reason why the company this year is, expected to grow somewhere, I think it's like 50, 60% revenue growth. I mean, obviously we have the CV drop off, but the reason why guidance is always so low, because Skillz, what they do is any new games, they don't put them into guidance because they don't know how them games are going to perform. What they can do is they go off the current games because we've got data of how well they're doing, and then it say, we can see we're attracting this many new users every month to these games that we currently have, and we'll guide from there. So the guidance is sandbagged because you have no new games in the current guidance that's going on. And as well as that, the games that are currently out at the moment, the reason why they do that is because you don't know which games are going to be successful. It's like movies. If you bring a movie out, you have no idea which is going to be the next blockbuster and which is going to fall off a cliff. But as well as that, one of the big things is that certain games take up a lot of revenue that makes up Skillz revenue. But that's like everything. If you have a major blockbuster that brings in, hundreds of billions, that's going to bring in more of a heavy chunk than your revenue. And, from there you can make a second version of that, a third version of that. But somewhere down the line, that fades off, and then you bring out another blockbuster that you don't know which one it's going to be, but you're going to bring out another blockbuster. And once again, that brings in, more revenue. You bring out a second, a third one, and it's a very hard market to predict. But that was one of the claims in the chart report, and I just kind of, overall, I think they've got 37 games that bring over like 1 million. And yeah, I think that they are very diverse. I think that was an over-exaggerated point, but I just want to say from like how much they sandbag numbers from this point of view is like, no games. New games aren't in guidance. But as well as that, the company at the moment, they kind of keep it very basic on the games. If these starting using branding deals on new games, if they start expanding into new categories, if they have a shooter game. At the moment, Skillz have never had a top 10 app. And the game changer for here is Skillz is like, if they get a top 10 app, guidance gets blown out of the water, because the amount of revenue they're going to make from that will be insane. We don't know if that will happen. But at the moment, Skillz hasn't had a top 10 app. Maybe the NFL game will be the top 10 app. But this is at the moment how early stages this company is at. I think people make the mistake of thinking Skillz is a company that is the size of Microsoft and Apple. This is really early stages company. But what you're starting to see is what they could potentially do down the line. And there's a lot of potential with this company. As well as all the new game side of it, the sandbag side of it, the ability to, if they do a top 10 app, the numbers just getting blown out of the water, the new categories they could move into as well, which could be huge. As well as that, they're expanding at a good rate. They're moving into India. India is a market that grows, I think it's 4 times faster at the moment than the US side of it. And that's going to be another expansion plan for this company in the next kind of few months that's going to kick in. They're also focusing on moving more and expanding into Android side of it. So quite often these guys have been focused on iOS. At the moment, Android's a quicker growing market as well. There's been a few problems there because of because it's a wager system, they're getting around the terms and conditions side of it. But they're looking at pushing out the Android as much as they can as well. And that's going to help the growth in the next few years. So you got, iOS, Android, expansion, new games, new titles coming in. There's a lot going on. And when you look at this company here, I think the big thing is you just have to look at how much they're kind of sandbagging guidance at the moment and how easy it could be for them to beat everything that's going on. And those are some hidden gems that will help the company in the next kind of few months and few years as well. So now with all that in place with the company, and hopefully, we'll can do a bit of a recap at the end. I'm going to run you some numbers now of what I see the company doing. Now, obviously, I think the company is undervalued at the moment for sure. But this is going to show you where I see the company going at the end of 2024 or at the start of 2025. And this is why, for me, this isn't a company where I'm investing for, a quick 100% return. I'm looking at this company very much like a Square in the early days, like a Tesla in the early days. Like, I'm looking at this company as, is this a 10x opportunity? And that's why I'm playing this one. I could have easily sold out this company at 100% return, but I'm going to run you the numbers, and this is why I'm still holding this company and why I'm holding the company for like another 3 or 4 years yet. So at the moment, I'm going to show you the bear case and I'm going to show you my ultra bull case on this company. So at the moment, the company is trading at a 6 billion market cap company. These guys at the moment are forecast to do 370 million revenue in 2021. Like I said before, on the hidden gem section, there's a lot of sandbagging going on. I think they could beat that. Obviously, they've already beaten it in Q1. Obviously, new games are not in the guidance and everything like that. We talked about that, but I'm just making that really clear at the moment. But let's say they do 370 million in revenue in 2021. At the moment, it's trading at a 16 price to sales ratio. Now, I think that's extremely cheap for a company that's growing at 100% rate. You look at a lot of other companies that trade at, well, there's not many companies that trade at 100% revenue rate. But, if we were to go into a lot of these high growth companies, a lot of them command a valuation a lot higher than that. Whether that be Palantir, I think that's like a 40 price sales ratio, Shopify 50 price sales ratio, Teladoc 30 price sales ratio. They're hyper growth companies that trade at an even higher valuation than 30. 16 for me is dirt cheap for a company growing at 100% revenue rate. But anyway, we'll just stick with that. That's why I say it's undervalued at the moment. But let's say it's a 16 price sales ratio. So let's say that at the moment, it's they do 1 billion in revenue in 2024. So my expectations is 40. So I'm working these numbers out where I think the company will be in 45 months from here. Let's say they do 1 billion amount of revenue in 2024. Let's say they run at a 15 price sales ratio. And like I said, this is my ultra bear case scenario, because I think they'll beat 1 billion in revenue. But I'm going off what analysts is expecting. 15 price sales ratio, I think that should be a lot higher than that. So this is my worst case scenario. That would mean at the end of 2024 or the start of 2025, January 2025, the company would be from here up 200%. Now in 45 months, that's not terrible. That's a pretty decent return. I think you would agree. 200% is pretty good. Obviously, when you could have sold out for 100%, 3 years earlier, you'd be like, maybe I should have sold there and moved on somewhere else. But, this is the worst case scenario. I think it will go up 200%. And I think 200% return in 45 months is still okay. It's still pretty good. You're doing that sort of returns, you'll outperform the market for sure. I think the question is, you could have sold for 100% return. But like I said, this is my ultra bear case scenario that the company returns 200% by the end of 2024 or the start of 2025. Now, this is my bull case scenario, or my ultra bull case scenario. I think they'll do somewhere between 1.25 billion to 1.5 billion in the end of 2024. And let's say that it actually runs at a decent valuation, a 30 price to sales ratio. That would mean from here, the company could go up 900%. And that's the big difference. If they beat expectations and, you know, get some decent new games out. The NFL deal kicks off. We have other rebrand deals. They could easily do them sort of revenue numbers. And if it does them sort of revenue numbers and it's growing huge, you would hope it would command a better valuation than what it does right now. And I think it could make 900%. And that is something very similar to like Square and Tesla. When I bought Square, you know, I always thought this company could, you know, go from $20 to $200. And, you know, that was a company that, you know, it's 10x from there. You know, Tesla, you know, a few years ago, you run the numbers on there, you're thinking, okay, this company could go up, you know, 10x from here. It went up 10x. And it's very much like Skillz. You know, Skillz at the moment, there's an opportunity here where this is a company at a very cheap valuation right now, that if it hits revenue numbers or even, you know, does the bull case on the revenue numbers, this is why I didn't sell out 100%, because I think this company has a lot of potential. Now, like I said, that's the ultra bear case and that's the ultra bull case. It could do it. You know, Square did it, Tesla did it. Personally, for me, when people ask me like, what do I think Skillz will do? And this is what I say, I'm investing in Skillz because in the next 45 months, I think the company will go 5x from here. 5x gives somewhere in the middle on what revenue they're going to do, and also somewhere in the price to sales valuation. And when people ask me, you know, I go somewhere in the middle between the ultra bear case and the ultra bull case, and I think I'll make 5x off my money. Don't get me wrong, there is part of me that thinks if everything goes right with this company, they can easily do this. And that's why I'm still holding the company. And this kind of goes down to this one here. And what I was saying is, you know, this is why I'm not selling out this company, because I feel like I can make 100% return, more than 100% return on my investments. You know, I was up 100% on this one. Some stocks I would sell out for 100% return. But when I run the numbers on Skillz, this is why I didn't take 100% return, because I think it could be even bigger than that in the long term. And I guess it kind of comes down to you as an investor. And I think one of the big things at the moment is we're seeing a lot of people claim they're a long-term investor, but realistically they want quicker returns than what they're investing in. And if you're investing into Skillz, you know, you could take 100% return if you want, or, you know, I see a few people claiming they're a long-term investor, and, you know, after a couple of months going, oh, I'm fed up of holding this company, it doesn't do anything for me. But it depends what you're after. If you're a true long-term investor and you see the potential, if you have the bull case on Skillz and you run the numbers, you know, you could see where it's going to go, and you're kind of happy, like, you know, you have to wait until this company puts in the revenue to command this valuation, and it's a patience game. You know, if you want something that returns, you know, 50, 100% in, you know, short terms and space, very short term, then this isn't going to be a company for you. But if you do your research, you know what you're buying, you look into the company, you have your bull case, you understand where the company is looking to go, you're happy to sit back and go, you know, this is, you know, potentially, you know, a Square 2.0 situation. Because you run the numbers on this company, you look at what they're trying to do, is very achievable for them to get, in my opinion. I think 5x is realistic. But, you know, if they do kick on and these things kick on, this is achievable. And we've seen this before with companies like Square, like Tesla, for example, that can happen. So it's definitely more of a patient stock. And I think this is definitely a test if you're a long-term investor or if you're not a long-term investor, because unfortunately for them to command this valuation, they have to put in the revenue, and we have to wait for that. And some people, you know, might not be able to wait for that. And you might be more suited to, you know, shorter term investments where you make smaller amounts of 50, 100%, which is absolutely fine. But the reason why I'm still holding this company and why I'm bullish on this company is because my ultra bull case for this one doesn't kick in for another 45 months, and you've just got to wait on it. Like I say, you know, there might be other companies where you might see them go up in value a lot more because, you know, they're a bit more undervalued, a bit more later developed companies. You might want to make shorter, snappy returns. But for me, this is why I didn't sell out 100%. You know, I'm ultra bullish on this one because I look at the platform, I can see esports growth, I think it's a good platform. I look at the management, we've got a solid management here. The industry, I'm buying into a massively growing industry. You'd think that with the share price drop off, you'd think it's a bad company. The company's done fantastic, it's a great product, it's been growing at 100% revenue rate historically. Hidden gems, you can see, like, you know, the the big brand deals coming in. You can see the new games they're looking to put in as well. You can see that the guidance is sandbagged with the growth side of it. And then you run the numbers and you can see like the potential long term. And it comes down to a long if you are actually a long-term investor. Because if you have the bull case and you are willing, I think a few people have got used to just stocks going up and FOMO, but this is an actual case of that you just got to have patience and you got to sit on it and see if you think they can achieve these numbers. Because if these guys can put in 1 billion of revenue in 45 months time, 100% the stock's going to be higher than where it is right now. It's a question of how much higher it's going to be and the valuation is going to command that. Like I say, in my opinion, I think it'll be 5x from here. My worst case scenario is 200% up, which still isn't bad, but I think it will, 5x. If it does hit the ultra bull case, it could be really amazing. I think it's a great company. And this is why at the moment, I'm not too bothered if the stock's going down 65%, because when I'm looking further down the line, when I look at what the catalysts are for this to go up, I think I'm buying a cheap company right now. I think it's undervalued right now. I think it should command a bigger valuation right now. I think this should easily be a $25 stock at least. But it's what I'm also buying is I'm thinking, the more I buy this, the more my average is getting lower. If they hit this bull case scenario in the long term, I'm going to be making more and more money. And this is why I'm not too bothered where the company's going in the short term, because my expectations for holding this company is quite a while off on this one. And this is the ultra bull case I have on it. This is all the catalysts that I see coming in play with the company, why I'm confident in the management. Very big fan of the industry. Think it's been an amazing company previously. They've got an amazing track record. And some of the hidden gems that are coming into play with the expansion, the brand deals, the new games, the sandbagged guidance as well. It could be massive for this company, and this is why I could have sold out at 100% rate, 100% return, a few months ago. But this is why I didn't, because I think in the long term, this one has a massive amount of potential. So hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Like I say, it's not really one of the most fun videos everywhere that I've ever done where, free stocks to buy, there you go, there's 2 minutes on a company, why I think it's a good company. This is a proper in-depth look into a company, why I think it will go up in value in the next few years, and why I'm buying it, and why I think I can make on this one a big return on this company, and I think it's a good opportunity. Hopefully for some of you guys that maybe was looking for a little bit more confidence into Skillz. I know it's been one that's been demanded for a while, and I don't know how long the video's gone on for, but I feel like I've given quite a bit of information out there, and hopefully it was useful anyway. But if you did enjoy it, like I say, if you could smash the like button, that'd be absolutely amazing. If you are new, subscribe. And like I say, for you guys that were holding Skillz, hopefully this kind of breakdown of the whole company was very useful for you anyway. And sorry it took so long. Like I say, just some crazy news stories that came out, but Sunday we've got no crazy news stories coming out just yet anyway, and I can sit down and do this video and break it down for you, and give you, it does take a few hours to kind of put everything together, so yeah, sometimes you might not see that, but with a Sunday I can sit down and put all this information together, put it for you guys, edit it and all that. So yeah, if you could smash the like button, like I say, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.